The most mysterious civilization in history. I found that part of history is easy to understand, where a lot economy collapse and new power rise to take their place. We can usually point to a death and battle of duty and say that when it's ended, but some civilization didn't fall in any way historians can nearly explain. They simply stopped city were important with the tools still on the table. Advanced society that had thrived for centuries went silent within a single generation. Millions of people who once built cities, wrote, write, language, and trade across continents seem to have disappeared from historical record at most, entirely leaving behind only ruin and answer the question. Today we are exploring history, the most mysterious Venice civilization, so advanced, so vast, or so strange in their display that expect and still arguing about what really happened to them. By the end of this video, you might start wondering how much of our one who could someday be forgotten the extreme way. 1. The Indus Valley civilization. Let's start with one of the largest and least understood civilization in human history, around 4,500 years ago, in what is now Pakistan and northwestern India. The Indus Valley civilization, sometimes called the Harappan civilization, was one of the most advanced society on earth. At this peak, it spanned and around later than escaped Egypt and Mesopotamia, combined with over 1,000 Egyptian settlements and major cities like Mohenjo-daro and Harappa that housed tens of thousands of people. What makes this civilization so remarkable is that how advanced it was for its time. The city featured sophisticated urban planning with great pattern streets and this brick side you across the team zone, and was maybe the world earthly no urban center seemed to sober the right and private house toilets. Century before everything complete is everywhere easy. They had standards for a wide and minimum spectating and highly concentrated network that reached as far as Mesopotamia, and that we know remarkably little about who actually ran this civilization, unlike Egypt, which is a pharaoh, or Mesopotamia, with its king. Astrologists have found no palace, no grand monument, and real ruler, and no clear evidence of a monarchy or centralized politics at all, as if enormous civilization features as much like a well or one corporate without any overwide ruler demanding to be remembered. Then their writing in the script appear on thousands of small scenes and artifacts consisting of the pictographic symbol despite escape of attempt by leaking and cartographer around the world. The Indus script has never been deciphered. We don't even know for written if it's the preparation of full spoken language or something more like a system of symbolic making. Without being able to read in their outward, we are left trying to reason an antique civilization be like. Politics and history pulled from pottery, city layout and trade goods, and then around 1900 BCE, the civilization began along slow decline and its great cities were lately about point. The pie point to the shifting the drying up the Gagahara river system, post line linked to chunk in monsoon pattern, which while have developed to agriculture that supported struggling urban population. Some research point to equate a tectonic shift that addressed river coast or the socket breakdown in the along the train network. The civilization depended on whatever you count on of the language most origin civilization of Asian world faded away quietly. That is what completely forgotten until a shark rediscovered in the 1920, and to this day we still can read single word its people left behind. To the Minoan civilization on the island of Crete in the Mediterranean Sea, a brilliant Bronze Age civilization on flourished, fueling its palate with vivid result of puff dolphin, developing alive and elegant following us unlike anything else in the Asian world. This was the Minoan civilization named century later by archaeologists after the legendary king Minos. The Minoan built massive elaborate ballet complex, the most famous being Knossos, with its make that many historians belie lightly in the ancient Greek mind of the Bearing and the Minotaur. They developed one of Europe's early writing system, a script now linear, and controller a vast maritime trading network across the Eastern Mediterranean, simplying without the massive different worlds that other Asian civilizations rely on, suggesting the level of naval domain and reliability that allowed their city to remain largely unfettered. Then around 1450 BCE, Minoan civilization suffered a sudden and dramatic decline, and within a few generations, the Mycenaean Greeks had taken control of Crete. For decades, one very dominant the catastrophic volcanic eruption of nearby island of Terra, modern-day Santorini, one of the largest volcanic eruptions in recorded human history. Its eruption would have sent massive the tsunami crashing into Crete northern coast, the West Minoan port and fleet, and linked to the zone in volcanic art crippling Eric took 4 years. Unanswered is a dramatic, compelling theory, but modern volcanic dating techniques have complicated the picture more. I call and cheering dating now suggest the Terra eruption actually occurred decades before the Minoan collapse, not right before it, weakening the idea that the eruption alone implies a single fatal blow. So what really happened? Some accounts now believe the eruption severely weakened Minoan society economically and culturally over a longer period, making them to evasion or internal conflict yet also point to a fight of destruction by fire at multi-million size socket. The million maybe have taken effect of the weaken correct and conquest it outright. They also aspire of significant earthquake make across the island around the Paris. We could have constrict the mysteroid linear a grip the Minoan use for record keeping had still never been fully deciphered, unlike the related script the Michael last year, which were famously recorded in the 1950 and turned out to be an early form of Greek without being able to fully read the Minoans on record. Historians are like piecing together the and the dating civilization from ex-slayer burn, play, ruin, and educate kid work. 3. The Maya civilization complex deep in the jungle of modern-day Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, and Honduras lead the remain of one of the most sophisticated civilization the America ever produced. The Maya at their high rally between 215 and 900 CE. The Maya built towering stone pyramids, developed on the most accurate calendar system in the ancient world, created a complex writing system, used hieroglyphics, and make remarkable advances in mathematics, including an early concept of zero city like Tikan and Kakan moon spot, tens of thousands of precise connected by network of around an elaborate erection and design voice system engineered to spy the reason hard drive session. Then over roughly century between about 800 and 900 CE, something happened. Dozens of Maya cities across the southern lowland, we about it was now called the classic Maya collapse. Monumental construction caused population plummeted. One thriving city was slowly swallowed by the jungle, not be replicated by the outside world for nearly 1,000 years. He was made it as simply putting the Maya civilization didn't disappear until millions of Maya people and their descendants still live throughout Central America today, and northern Maya civilization Itza continue to thrive for centuries after the southern couplet. This was the end of the Maya people. It was the student my story and a specific highly advanced pocket and urban system across the hill region. So what caused dozens of independent city-states to collapse into similar window of time? Early literary story supported by shearing and sediment core data point to the series of five prologue the route that struck the region during this point potentially was by Maya the outlet scale deforestation which may have destroyed the zone rainfall pattern for civilizations that have engineered its city around careful water management and multi-decade mega drought could have been catastrophic. Author Richard Amphai with warfare archaeological advice so a sharp rise in fort fire and deprecation of violent conflict between rival Maya city-state in the century before the complete scattering political and military instead may have compound the environmental strain. Some scholars also point to overpopulation, soil erosion from extreme farming, and breakdown in trade network as contributing factor. Most modern researchers know Biblia is one single cause, but a perfect storm rule warfare, overpopulation, and degradation feeding into each other until entire city-state simply because unsustainable. Still, their sheer speed and scale of the collapse, so many independent cities falling within a single century remain one of the most studied and debate mystery in all of archaeology. For Cahokia, most people, even in the United States, have never heard of Cahokia, despite the fact that Earth is peak around 1100 CE. It was larger than London was at the same point in history. Local near modern day St. Louis, Missouri, Cahokia was the longest and most sophisticated city built in North America before European contact. At its height, it estimated the city was home somewhere between 10,000 and 20,000, with some researchers suggesting the number could have been even high when accounting for surrounding settlement. The city was centered around Monmouth, an enormous earthen pyramid covering a mile around 10 great pyramid of Giza built Italy by hand using woman buckets to more than a mile, 22 million cubic feet of soil. Cahokia, the region, built dozens of outer miles across the city, aligned with remarkable precision to solar and lunar events, along with a massage circular when a wooden pot and fixing as a solar cheerleader with a shallow sheet nicknamed Wood Hen. Cahokia was an Islam Villago eastward a Mayo regional hub with advanced objects could range from as far away the View Coast and the Great Lake region by any reasonable mainstream. It was once the great city of its era anywhere in the world. And then sometime around 1350 CE, Cahokia was abandoned completely by time European explorers arrived in the region. Century later, the city was nothing but great curved mouth, and the descendants of Cahokia, the original interval, has long since leaving no direct oral tradition clearly explaining what happened to the city itself. Why did once the largest city in the Colombian Americas simply empty out? Some archaeologists point the event just during deforestation around the city to fuel construction, and heating may have led to soil erosion and flooding along the nearby Mississippi River floodplain. That the city Astur depended on authors suggest a peripoint of Portland, the route similar to what struck the Maya and remind the intestine corn farming that fight Cahokia the dense population. The also as by increasing social stress in Cahokia final decade, defensive stockade walls were rebuilt around the central city, suggesting rising internal conflict or fear the outside attack. Some researchers propose that as by and Socuso mount the Eli Polico and the little structure that had organized the city massive labor project may be simply lost it utterly causing the population to gradually depict into smaller, more sustainable community across the region. Whatever the practical of history, great forgotten city now site quietly as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Its massive mound still visible today, still holding on to secret in seem in swing light unlike to fully reveal. 5. The Nazca culture. In the arid coastal plain of southern Peru, the Nazca culture thrived from truly 100 BCE to 800 CE, leaving behind one of the most visually stunning mysteries in the ancient world, the Nazca line. They are enormous jelly etched into desert floor, some depicting simple geometric shape and long, perfectly straight lines stretching a mile, with the forming inside of animal, a human bird, a monkey, a spider, a condor with a wingspan leg. Then the football find what makes their flogged so remarkable either their skill. Many are so late that they can only be fully applied from the air. This ship being created by the civilization with no more mehood of flight. The Nazca people create their life using a surprisingly simple technique while removing the red and brown surface on the river. The lighter collect around underneath, but the scale and regression of the world imply so first surface climate planning, surveying, and coordinate labor across an enormous, mostly flat desert landscape. Why did the Nazca Gretum? That question had generated a more colorful debate. Some research belies the liner here astronomical single, potentially making the position of the Caleto even lie side or the rising point of sea chain star important. The Arctic Circle in the hard desert environment alter outward the line of flux were designed as a form of ritual pathway was by the Nazca people during the ceremony relate to word and fertility unorgan constant in one of the direct plaque on each still also connect to lines Naka relation keep around a feline deity escort with rain and they also scatter with light. We create art offering mean to be seen by God in the sky rather than by all the human at own. And of course the Nakalai have also become a magnet for far more speculative history over the decade, including claims connecting them to astronaut or exterior visitor. They are firmly rejected by mainstream archaeologists, but with noted remain beside popular in pop culture. The Nazca culture itself appears to have gone into decline around 750 CE, likely due to a combination of severe around and catastrophic flooding, even like to El Nino weather pattern compounded by the moment strain of deforestation into the region. But even setting aside the reason for the cultural decline, the core mystery of the Nakalai and due why were a civilization pursued enormous efforts into creating art on scale that they same self standing on the ground could never have fully seen. With of the Lord civilization, very you must let me know in the comment below. And if you enjoy this journey through history, the great decade us, make sure to like, subscribe for more deep dive into my path. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.